Hey everyone, happy Wednesday and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I created this really beautiful tortoiseshell nail design. So let's jump right into it. Hey everyone, I'm coming in from real time. So I'm starting this video. I'm actually going to show you guys me making this nail set right here. So this is like a long stiletto, but I make it like a long almond. So I kind of like buff and file the edges a little bit and round them out, and as I apply the gel polish it'll make them even more rounded. But I wanted to kind of do a behind the scenes really quick, showing you guys exactly what I do step by step. So I use these nail stands. I mentioned in a past video, but I get these nail stands from AliExpress. You can also get them from probably like Temu or something. I've never seen them on Shein, but they also do have them on Amazon. Those are the ones that I'll have in the description box. And then I get some putty. The putty that I use is this one. It's the Gorilla Glue brand one. It's super good and strong. The nails stay stuck on there, and I like how the residue doesn't get stuck on the back of the nail. As you can see right now, I took this off, and then I stick it on there. And then once that's stuck on there, I do have a little post-it as well with all the sizes of the customer that I'm going to be making. So this is the sizes for this customer right here. So I went ahead and put those sizes on, and then once the nails are on, I grab a little buffer like this and I just buff the nail slightly. You could see that there's just like little scratches all over the nail. Like, it doesn't need to be super smooth, because making it too smooth could make your polish chip. So I just make sure to give it a nice little grit, just so that the polish has somewhere to stick, but not over buffing it. And I like to use the more gritty side, and I get these little buffers on Shein from like 50, I think it's a 50 count for like $1 or something. So I get these and I use those for all of my nails, and I do buff them. And then once they're all nice and buffed, then that's when they're gonna look like this. So I just grab a base coat gel. I use any brand. Sometimes I use this one, sometimes I use the NAILSBLINGEDSUPPLY. I just use whatever I have in front of me, and I just go ahead and apply a nice even layer to all of the nails of the base coat gel. It makes it super strong. As you can see, I'm trying to bend it and it won't even bend on me. So adding this just really adds some extra protection that is needed, especially when you're making these for a customer. You never want them to message you saying that their nails like broke on them, so you want to make sure they're very nice and strong. So once this is all cured, it's all cured already, now I can start on my design, and I'll just be continuing the rest in a voiceover. But I wanted to say this really quick in real time just to explain to you guys. So a few months back, I had actually purchased this gel from enailcouture, the ballerina gel number 019. I purchased it without any really thought into it. I didn't know it was going to be sheer. I thought it was like a dark brown. And then once I got it, I realized that it is like a sheer brown. And ever since I got this color, I have not even got a chance to use it. But I needed a tortoiseshell nail color so bad, because tortoiseshell is really trending right now. And I haven't gotten any requests for anyone for me to make it for anybody, but I felt like soon I might need a color like this. So I was really glad to find it when I cleaned my shelf the other day. I was like, I totally forgot I had this. I need to make a tutorial on some tortoiseshell nails, because I feel like I've never done tortoiseshell on my channel before. Let me know if I have, but I don't think I have. So I think I've only made it one other time before. So we're kind of like making it together. I'm going to be applying one layer of the tortoiseshell on the nail. So I went ahead and applied one layer. And while the polish is still wet, I have not cured the tortoiseshell color yet. Instead of calling it tortoiseshell color, I'm just gonna say I don't know, the sheer color, the jelly color, jelly. So once I applied the jelly, I left it wet, and now I'm going to be grabbing some black gel polish, and I'm just going to be mixing it with a little bit of brown. You can even go in with just straight brown if you want to. It's honestly up to you. And then I'm going to be grabbing this little rounded brush. I showed it very briefly right there. And then I'm going to be grabbing a little cup with some acetone, and I'm just going to be having that on hand. It's always good to have a little cup of acetone on the side with you. You can also use alcohol if you what is it called? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know. I guess if you like that better. And I'm going to be going in and creating little splotches of this color, basically the black mixed with brown, all over the nails in random spots, literally just random. But you want to make sure you are not covering the whole nail in this color. You want the jelly to still be showing through in certain spots. So that's what I'm making sure to do. I'm making sure to just do this color in certain spots only. And then, basically we're going to add on to it from here. I would actually recommend to go in with a lighter brown instead of the black right away, because it kind of has to show like in the background of the next layer that we're going to do, which you'll see in a second. They end up looking identical at the end, but I actually learned something new here on my own without even watching a video or anything. I just realized that I think it's supposed to be done this way. So you'll see in this next hand how I end up doing it. I'm going to actually leave the two hands separate so that you guys can see them in different times and see what I'm talking about. So basically going back to the one we were working on originally, I already cured this. So I did cure that first layer, and now I'm going to be applying another coat of the jelly. I'm leaving the ring finger free because, as you guys probably saw from the beginning of the video, I did want to add some really pretty embellishment onto this nail right here. This whole set is actually going to be a surprise for a customer. I am sending it to her as a surprise free nail set because she just always supports me so much, always purchases nails for me, and is really patient with my shipping times and everything, or like processing time. So I wanted to surprise her with something like this. I hope she ends up liking it, but it turned out so beautiful in the end. So basically now I'm going to go in with some brown. I showed you guys the one I'm going to use. It's the D&D DC, I think number 053, and I'm just going to basically be applying that in other parts of the nails here. So I went in with black and then a layer of jelly, and then now the brown, and then you'll see how it ends up. So basically I'm just applying it while it's still wet again, and kind of spreading it out in other parts where the black part that I put on isn't showing, if that makes sense. So basically now, something else I wanted to mention is you want to make sure that you're cleaning up the edges as you go along. This goes for almost any design where you have to layer, or pretty much every single design. Anytime you have to do a lot of layers, clean up as you go. Every single layer that you do, clean up the edges, because your nails can end up lumpy really, really quickly. It actually did happen to me on this one, so I had to make sure to file them afterwards or buff them. I'll explain that a little later, but basically you want to make sure to clean up the sides before you cure it, so that way you don't end up with the lumpy edges and you keep the shape of your nails. So basically now I cured that final layer, and now I'm going to be going in back with some black, just black on its own, and I'm going to be just putting it in random spots all over the nail here. And as you can see the brown underneath in that other layer that we just did. So it's so beautiful. It already looks like a tortoiseshell design. I really love the way it turned out. So this is how it's looking so far. So I really quickly want to reiterate the steps I did, because I know sometimes I talk really fast and it could be a lot of information for someone that's just a beginner. So first what we did was jelly. So one layer of jelly, and then after that we did one layer of like brown spots, and then after that you need to do another layer of jelly, and then after that a few more brown spots, and then another layer of jelly, and then now the black spots at the end, and then one last final layer of jelly. I hope that makes sense. If you want, you can do like multiple layers together, or you can just do one layer of the brown. Honestly, you don't need to do two, if that makes sense, like the brown spots. But I feel like it worked out very well because I didn't want the nails to be too see-through, so I like adding the extra layers of the jelly. So if it's all up to your preference, honestly, you don't have to do so many layers of this. If I would have done only 2 layers of the jelly, it still would have looked great. It would have been a little more see-through, which was not what I kind of wanted. I wanted it to be a little more opaque, because as you can see, this is the color on its own. So if I would have done only 2 layers, it would have just been too little. Like, it would have been too see-through. So now I'm going to show you guys again. So we're going to do the process again. I have a layer of jelly here down. This jelly is already cured though, so you can do it cured or not cured. It's completely up to you. Some people also use blooming gel, but I feel like you don't have to use blooming gel. And also blooming gel would just add an extra layer that you have to make and make the nails a little more bulky. So I feel like you don't need the blooming gel. You just need a little round brush, and you need to just use tapping motions. So I'm going in with just some straight dark brown here and little round tapping motions, and I'm just going in random spots all over the nails. and I'm going to cure that once it's done. And I realized here I did the ring, so I have to take that off actually. So here I am kind of going back and perfecting what I wanted them to look like. I didn't want them to look too perfect like circles, so I kind of made it a little more messy looking, which is perfect because it ends up looking more natural. And also here in the camera, the color ends up looking very orangey red. It's not really that like that in person. It's way more of a nice sheer brownish orange. So it's way more brown in person. So you can see here, I realized the nails were a little lumpy and I was kind of upset about that. I was like, dang, I shouldn't have like I should have been cleaning up my edges a little more as I went, but no worries. I went ahead and painted my last final layer of the ring finger. I'm going to cure that, and then once that's cured, I am going in and buffing these nails out and perfecting the lumpiness and making them smooth again. I do that sometimes often if I have to do a lot of layers because it just happens, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it just happens. So here I am now. I'm going in with some more dark brown on the other one that we were just creating, and I'm just going to be basically making it a little darker here. And I think it's because I forgot to add a layer of the jelly. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I do end up adding a layer of the jelly again after I cured this one. So oh no, I know why. I ended up doing another layer of the brown because I felt like it wasn't opaque enough, like it looked a little too sheer, so I added some more to make it a little darker, more similar to the black I originally put down on the other hand. I hope that makes sense. Sorry you guys, I know sometimes I don't make sense when I talk. Like it makes sense to me in my head, but I feel like to you guys it might be confusing because I talk kind of fast and like I don't know, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking differently. And maybe I don't know, I get worried that you guys might not understand what I'm saying, so I try to make the most sense that I could. And then now, as you could see here, this is where they were kind of lumpy, so I went ahead and wiped them off with some alcohol to take away the stickiness, and now I'm going in with my buffer and I'm just buffing them. When you go over to buff it, you could really see where the lumps are at because it'll like show the lumps, if that makes sense. It'll show like all the divots in the nail, so I really noticed where the lumps were. The other hand ended up turning out perfect. It didn't even have any lumps because I made sure to keep my layers really flat and the little splotches of color really thin. Like I didn't put on so much of the color like I did on this one, so the other one I didn't even have to buff at all. So that just goes to show like technique's really important when you do nails. It's just like so important the way you apply things because it can make all the difference in the way your final product looks. So yeah, it's just so important. Here I am just basically smoothing out the sides and making sure it is a perfect shape and making sure it is identical to the other hand. And I actually later when I wipe it off, I end up loving how it looks in matte, but I didn't want to mattify it. I felt like it takes away from the Tortoise design because Tortoise, I feel like usually you see it like as glossy, like a glossy print like on glasses or something like that. So I wanted to keep it glossy. And yeah, so this is how it looks matte. It looks really pretty, but now I'm gonna gloss it up and this is how it looks. It looks so nice when it's glossy. It just like really brings out the layers and it really melts everything together. I just love adding a glossy top coat. It makes all the difference. And the glossy top coat that I'm using is the Diamond No Wipe from NAILSBLINGEDSUPPLY. I am going ahead and applying this, and of course making sure to clean up the sides before I cure. And I'm doing 2 nails at a time because I don't want the gel to run over to the edges. So I did these 2 nails and then I did cure it after this. And then now I'm going ahead and applying another layer of jelly to the other hand that we were creating. So once that jelly is cured, that layer that I just did, I'm going ahead and now applying just some plain black splotches over the nail again in around the same spots where I originally did the brown, but except I want there to still be brown showing underneath. So just doing the same thing I did last time, and I'm just going ahead and putting it everywhere in little dabbing motions, and this is going to make it look really nice and sheer in a way. So also kind of messy, which is exactly what you want. So I'm going ahead and doing this, and then I'm gonna cure after this is done. And then now the last and final layer, I'm going in with another layer of the jelly, a very, very thin layer. I'm just making sure that there's barely any product on my brush before I go ahead and put that on. And then once that is all cured, I'm going ahead now and top coating. So I'm finishing the top coating that I originally started on the other hand, and then I'm also going to top coat the other hand now. So now for my favorite part, which is the rhinestone placement. So I'm going ahead and I went and wiped off the sticky layer of the ring finger, and then I'm going to go ahead and buff the entire nail. You always want to buff the nail before you apply this product here, because sometimes it can make your polish chip that you put on top of it. I don't know why that happens, but I just noticed that if I'm going to put polish on top, aka top coat, then I'm going to make sure to buff first. So I buffed the nails, and then I went ahead and I'm going in now with the glue. So I'm trying to figure out first though which charms I wanted to use. I really wanted to use these bows. Looking back now, that bow kind of went perfect, but I don't know, the more I kept looking at it, the more I felt like the bows were just killing the vibe I was trying to go for. I'm trying to go for a really elegant, classy vibe. The bow is very cute, but I don't know, I just felt like with this set it just didn't go. So you'll see in a second, I just decided not to put it on. I'm applying the glue in the motion that I'm gonna kind of apply the stones. So I'm going in with some brown crystals. These go perfect with the set. And the glue I'm using is a cyanacrylate glue. It is a thick consistency, and I do have it in my Amazon storefront. So I'm going ahead and putting this on, and I'm putting on this really beautiful pearl charm. I feel like this just gives it like a really pretty, I don't know, different type of look that I was trying to go for. So I feel like it just worked great. And I also decided to add another pearl here underneath. So I wanted to do like pearl, gold, and just a few stones, not so much just regular rhinestones. And this charm is perfect, but I am kind of worried now. I hope someone doesn't ask me to replicate this set, because I only had 2 of these charms. I might have 2 more if I look hard enough, but I feel like I ran out of these charms. So I'm like, hopefully I don't get asked to make this again, or hopefully they're okay if I have to like switch the charms and do a different charm instead. So now, once I made sure that my glue is all cured, or basically all dried because it doesn't cure, I did want to say that I did spray some activator spray on the crystals, charms, whatever. As soon as I put them on, I do it off camera just because I do it off to the side, kind of like in a little corner, because it's so strong. But I do use the Hurry Up Nail Glue Dryer Spray. It's like a little aerosol bottle, I think is what they're called. But you can also use like the Mia Secret activator glue spray that's from Amazon or from Zule's website, like Zule's nail shop website. I think she sells it as well. So you can get it in a lot of different places. Honestly, you can probably get it at any nail supply maybe. It just makes any type of cyanacrylate glue dry faster. So it dries like instantly. It really helps when you're in a time crunch and you don't want to wait for your charms and everything to dry so slowly. So I did go ahead and spray that, and then once I waited a few minutes for it to fully dry, then I went ahead in with my top coat, and as you can see, I top coated around the crystals. But now I'm going to be applying crystals to the other hand. So now once the nails are all finished, I'm getting them ready to be packaged. I'm using these little 8x2 box. It's a light pink color. I get these from Amazon. I think it's around $50 for 100 of them. So a pretty good deal. It's not too expensive. If you can find them in bulk even cheaper, then I definitely recommend you buy them cheaper. But I've looked everywhere and I can't find them anywhere like in bulk in this color, like the pink one. So I just got them from Amazon. It comes up to like, I don't know, pretty cheap per box. So once I am ready to put the nails in, I do put them in. I just grab them with my hand, but I do clean them off with some alcohol afterwards. So you guys will see in a second. That's a perfect way to make sure that there's no fingerprints or anything on your nails. And I do always, of course, have sanitizer on hand. I always sanitize my hands before I make a set, but then I also wash my hands a lot, like so much to where I get like eczema because my hands are so dry. But yeah, so this is what the set ended up turning out like, and here's the finished result. They are absolutely gorgeous. Just look how glossy they are, and you could really see all the detail in the tortoiseshell design. I feel like the accent nail really made it pop. It looks so beautiful in person, honestly. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I really tried to explain it to the best of my ability, and I really hope you guys try out this design. And if you liked it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!